Please. YouTube! What is up? I am back from my half marathon. I told you guys that LoL Replay Reviews would be back. It is Monday, November 16th, 2015. LoL Replay Reviews are back for the preseason, for Season 6. I've been doing a lot of work on the preseason, making sure that I understand the items, the runes, the masteries a little bit better, what's hot, what's not. And, yeah, I'm ready to do LoL Replayers Reviews. Got Ambicidal on Hecarim. Gonna be facing Mundo top. Gonna figure out what he can do better, what he can do worse, etc. Got some, like, troll shit bot lane. Looks like Maokai support or something.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Funky invade type thing going on over here.
Minions have spawned.
Maokai does not appear to have smite. So, I guess he's just, like, trolling, I guess. Suicide's first blood. I don't really know. It's a snowball game. I'm confused about this Maokai. I guess he's just playing support Maokai with teleport, which makes no fucking sense, by the way. So, you're facing Mundo, which, for all intents and purposes, you can kill him early. You don't really get to kill him very easily, though, as he gets items, even with Ignite, because he can kind of kite you. Basically, he survives your all-in, and, like, dances around with cleavers. Good level 2 all-in. I dig that. This game, by the way, guys, is Diamond 5. Ambicidal's played with me on Smurf accounts, like, got into my games before. Okay, you didn't teleport, which is good. Looks like you go for longsword and boots. That's fine. I don't have any like issues with that. Boots are really OP. In top lane. Looks like you're getting ganked. You don't have vision of it, but you're not pushing, so there's no big deal here. I don't know what the fuck that Mundo is doing, but Mundo does die a lot early. I mean, it's one of those lanes where if people aren't experienced with Mundo, they have a tendency to die early just because he's so weak, so exploitable early. I don't think you needed to tank that much minion damage there. I think that was unnecessary. This is Diamond, so I'm a little bit more critical. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to tank that many minions at all. Like, you basically just dip your health bar down to like 60% for no reason. Look. And waste mana. Like that, the minions were right behind you. You were gonna get all of that farm. So yeah, I don't like that too much. Not a fan of unnecessary health loss or waste of mana. So you hit level 5. I'm looking around the map right now, like thinking about what you can do. You should know that you really can't kill Mundo. But what you can do is you can farm like you're doing. You can farm well and make good teleports. So what we're going to be looking for is whether or not you make a good teleport or you make a shitty one. And we'll go into the weeds when that phase, because I know you like to do that a lot. So you rush Boots of Swiftness to get back into lane fast. I know what your strategy is. You basically like to be sort of utility with your roams and pressure around the map, because I played with you before, so I understand a little bit about what you're thinking. Alright, let's talk about this teleport first. This is bad. Really bad. There's no universe where this is gonna end well, I think. I don't like this. I think it's a little risky, but we'll see what happens. You do shove the lane before going, though, which is good. No one's in position to follow up, so I feel like you're just going to be trading. You get his flash. Okay, so it does work out to your benefit. Looks like you might even get a double kill. Sweet. Okay, so I thought that that was a little bit thinner than it actually was. With the Ignite, I guess the teleport's okay. You need to be thinking, though, I'm going to push this lane and get the fuck out and go top. Is what you need to be thinking here. Okay, no. You can't be here. You need to back, though. This teleports, it works out. It's better than I thought, but you need to back here. You don't need to stay on this turret. Just get out and go back to top. Okay? You're not taking this turret alone. You need to back and get into position for top as fast as possible. So this is, to me, is a bit of a waste because you're putting damage on the turret, but you're sacrificing your advantages. And you're also taking this Kallista's XP, which isn't very good in my opinion. I don't like that. I think with the whole mobility home guards thing, you would have been better suited just letting Kalista have the farm and do her own thing. In my opinion. You do lose top. You will lose top, but that's okay. That's okay. Because look at this position you're setting this guy up for. You push the second wave in. So this guy's stuck in an awkward spot where he doesn't get any farm. You basically canceled out a wave of CS that would have put this guy another level up. And now he's going to get ganked. Like, you needed, as soon as you got that double kill, you needed to back, buy, and sprint up with home guards. And maybe try to clean something up. And just keep your lane intact as long as possible. Because getting the turret down early is okay, but you're gimping your bot lane. Your bot lane's already losing. They were already kind of like break even. It felt like they were losing anyways. So by like knocking the turret out right away, I feel like you don't give this guy an opportunity to like lane. And what are you gonna, unless you're gonna like group and siege, which is very rare in solo queue. I think it would have been better to just back away and let them take it naturally, because they should have been able to take it naturally from that point, I think. And then you go back to top. Farms well. You're farming well, so that's good. Farms really well. Really high. So you're going to start... that was goofy, but whatever. We'll let it pass. So he ults you. Looks like he's trying to challenge you a little bit. You get out, which is great. Good pressure. You can always back and sprint forward. You have no teleport right now. So this is all your team, whether or not they die. Mundo uses his ult. So you have a window of time where you can beat aggro on him. Obviously, he's not staying in top lane. But I'm just saying that if he uses his ult, you can always get something done against him if he just burns his ult and doesn't get you. Red team gets dragon. You ward out before pushing. This is all well and good. Farm is good. Farm is good. Everything is good so far. I've got no big complaints here, other than the turret that I think you should have left and let your bot lane take. All right, let's look at this. Looks like you 2v1 here because you're fed. Graves gets out of line. And maybe you get away. Good jukes. Okay, so you burn a lot. Kalista comes up doing no damage. Your team's kind of crappy there. Not much you can do about that. In terms of the mechanics of the 2v1, it's all well and good. Like, you juked out Mundo and got his flash. Unfortunately, your Kalista just kind of suicides anyways. And now it goes bad. Yeah, your CS is good here. Juke that. Dude, juke that. This is an error that I think you can, this is a spot that you need to work on. I like this. Dodge the fucking taunt. You know it's coming. How much move speed do you need before you dodge this fucking taunt, dude? Like, you know what she's gonna do. You know what she's thinking. Dodge it. You're coming in a straight line. Or alternatively, once you burn her ult, come down and go for Varus. Once you see that she has her ult, she's probably not dying to you since you don't have yours, I don't think. I think it's on cooldown. Yeah, it is. This is lying. The cooldown thing is lying here. As soon as you see her ult back, because you might not be able to get her, swing down for Varus, try to get his flash. You saw him heal, but he can't get away from you. You're fast as fuck. That would have been a lot better, I think. I like the teleport, though. I choked because I wanted to go for Varus, but I didn't see where he was. In these spots, man, what you should be thinking about is, like, you need to recognize, we're going to take the vision away for a second. Just so you can see. You know where he is, man. Look, you know where he is. Right when you teleport, your eyes should be on this. This is your target, that Varus. So you see him. Catch his ass. That's Varus. That's one of the slowest champs in the game with no mana. So in an ideal world, you just beeline for him because you know he doesn't have escapes. With Ahri, the more that I analyze this and think about it, the more that I'm like, Ahri, if you think that she might have her ult, you never want to go for this. Okay? You might want to just go for the guy with no escape. I'm sorry I'm harping on this for so long, but these are spots where you extend your lead. And I think that if you're going to go for Ahri, you have to dodge the taunt. Or just go until you recognize that she has her ult and then back away if she doesn't give you the kill. So, you guys do Rift. I'd be trying to get my team to get me Rift. It looks like Kalista takes it. I would have loved to have Rift. Now, this stage, you do have levels over everybody, so I do like that. You don't have ult, yeah. Alright, let's back this up. So you guys get Rift, or whatever. I think you should be top. I think you should get top down here. Okay? Kalista takes Rift, and then you basically post up in mid lane. Ambi, if Ahri has ult when you're coming out of the turret, if she has ult and she's here under turret though, there's a pretty good chance that she just ults back and then, you know, charms you or whatever. As soon as you see the ult back, I don't know if I continue, because you've basically won that trade without using your ultimate. But anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about this. So you guys get Rift Herald, right? And you were thinking Siege. However, the problem with this is, without your ulti up, you're kind of useless, to be honest, as Hecarim. Like, you can't really do much. And also, you're very, very close to having it looks like you're going for Triforce, I assume. I feel like you're better suited in this spot with your ult on, like, your ult is, like, 30 seconds away from being up. So, in this particular instance, because your ult isn't quite there yet, this wave is big enough, and you can shove this wave in and get the turret. I think that I would shove this wave, get the turret, finish Triforce, then try to make a nice little group. If you go in group here and you're wrong, this is what happens, you see, because you're fed. And a lot of the time, like, you really want to... I've played with you, so I know what you're thinking. You're a utility guy, you gank a lot, you roam a lot, which is good. But I think you need to dial it back when you recognize stuff like this, where, like, your ult is clear. Like, it'd be one thing if it was about, like, 10 or 15 seconds from being up. But when it's like 40, 45, 30, 35, I'm thinking that you can make, because you're so fast with your build, I think that you could have made a very smart push here. You don't even have to take the turret, just shove the wave here. Back with home guards, then come down to mid lane. You're pressuring two fronts. Odds are someone's going to come and deflect top. Someone's going to come and deflect top, and then while they're doing that, you can make a dive. A smart dive where you just ISO destroy somebody, like Varus. Mainly, if I were in your shoes with the way that this game is going, I would probably shove top, come down, and then just try to ult Varus and just knock him out of the fight, and then make it free turret. Because Varus isn't really going to stop you if you just kill him right away. That's one good thing about Hecarim is he punishes this guy so fucking hard. Plus, I mean, it's fucking Jungle Graves, so you can punish both of those guys. So I think in hindsight here, and I don't like to be a hindsight hero, I like that you guys did Rift. The part of the reason that I wanted you to have it is so you could come up here and knock this turret down. But you guys get it, then group mid, and then you don't have your ult, and then you get in this weird spot where you don't have your ult, and then you guys are team fighting, and your ult pretty much makes or breaks team fights. Otherwise, if you don't have your ult, the thing about Hecarim is he can push. He's one of the best split pushers without his ultimate. So that's the window when you in the future when you're doing this. Before you're thinking about grouping, I mean, just remember, like, if you don't have your ult, there's no point because you win team fights with your ult. You don't really do much in a team fight without it. You just kind of get isolated without the ability to go in or escape. So here, Pantheon baits you into it. You don't have your ult. You have no vision of the team, so naturally they're all going to show up. And you get charmed under turret, which is really bad because you don't have your ult. And now now you've kind of given a big chunk of XP, huge shutdown bonus. Yeah. That's pretty much that. Overall, though, I think you've played, up until this point, I think you've played very, very well. And I think that that's an easy spot to get baited into. But I think overall, you've got to see, like, when the wave's like this and it's pushing to you, just fucking shove that down, and then that makes it so that these spots are less thin, in my opinion. Honestly, Ambi, this was where the game changed the hardest. This was the biggest. I mean, from my experience playing with Quaid, this is the decision that costs you big because you're so big, but your team is so clearly shit, and your presence, like, if you give away, it only takes one this season, man. Like, the season snowballs hard, but you make one big mistake when you're the Fed guy, and it just tilts the whole game on its head, and that's basically what happened here. I feel like that was a very, very rough spot because like I said, I don't think your team's very good. I mean, there's the evidence. Again, you're grouping. I don't like it. I don't like it. Get this fucking, just get this shoved first before you group. Just shove the lane in. You have a tendency, like, I really do like your all-in cheese type stuff where you kill the Mundo in lane. I think that's really good. I think that, you're trying to make good teleports bottom, which I think are, you made a good call here with the double kill. But I think there's times where you're just moving to group now that you're missing an opportunity to really get a bigger lead and finish items and get those power spikes that you need. In my opinion, okay? You play a lot more Hecarim than me. No, you're right. Laning against him won't extend your lead, but he's here in mid. So getting your turret down, getting the global gold, and then getting your items, like I said, those key power spikes. Because here's the thing, I like your build. I like where your strategy is, basically like cheesing the early game teleport with level 6. I like that because it's like in the Shen realm for me, the way that you're playing. It's one of those things where you're basically allowed to gank with Ignite and ult, ruin the bot lane, and then go back into top lane and still be doing your thing. However, the point that you're missing about this build, and it's the same type of thing when I can relate to this because I do similar stuff with like Morgana. where I did home guard stuff, where I was playing against like Wings and those guys, and I was dumping on them with Morgana top. You have to balance it out with, because you are winning those other lanes, but and you farmed well, but you're missing the opportunity. You got to break back, like you're rushing this item and these boots, the home guard boots, and like not completing items. You need to dial it back. You need to dial it back and finish the power spike and get the turret down, because you need to basically counteract the early game cheese build that you're running. I like it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that you have to make up for your gold lost and get your items now with your lead, because you're cutting a corner. And now your opponents are not really keeping up with you in farm. So you have the opportunity to extend your CS lead, take the turret, finish your items, and then you got through the early portion with the cheese build, and now you've converted it into like a mid-game, late-game thing where you run people over. Because you got to remember that the Ghostblade and the Triforce and all that shit that you're trying to get to is really fucking strong if you hit the timings. Doing these fights where like your team is kind of already losing, you're wasting this XP, this global gold, this fight is, you can maybe come up and clean up a kill with your ult, maybe, but this is a sure thing, and then you can swing down. You can come right through the jungle, maybe catch some people, egressing or whatever. But the other thing you got to remember too is that you're pulling people to top every time you do it. And then in regards to, is there a chance Mundo runs me down with someone else coming up the lane? No, absolutely not. Not with your build. When I see Mundo, I don't ever see him catching. You can dodge cleavers. Look at their jungle. It's Jungle Graves. The only person that can catch you in this lineup is Ahri, maybe. And that's if she hits a charm. If she doesn't have a charm, you're never dying. Ever. So at least shove the turret here to get him to show up. Then move. Get someone to respond. Like, you don't even have to take the turret. Just push the lane in so that while you're making your moves, you're taxing XP. Because as it stands right now, you're missing this XP and you're just letting it cancel out. This is free money that you can tax to these guys. So you group up. Looks like LeBlanc picked somebody off. And then you come down here. You help secure this fight. But again, this was free gold. And this was a fight that, for all intents and purposes, they looked like they were doing all right on their own. And that fucking, god damn it. That's so classic. It's an amazing battle. I'm not gonna lie, that battle is top notch. So, okay. I've just figured that even if I get a tier 2 top, there's a good chance that my team gets dove mid. I want to be there so they can catch up. You would still make it in time. That's what I'm saying. I think you're underestimating the value of your own move speed and the value of your pushing power. You could shove the lane back home guards forward with your ult and ignite, with your power spike, and you literally you delete one person from the fight. Like, none of them, once you have either Ghostblade or Triforce, like, nobody survives. They're gone. But you don't hit the power spike. So, like, you miss a lot of damage, and you're also forgetting that, okay, if your team, like, trades even or whatever, and then you get the global gold and then come down mid with your spike, like, you're letting your team, you're giving your team gold as well. Like, they're not just, like, losing in that way. I think you're just, basically what I'm getting at is I think you're just grouping a little too much in that spot. But like I said, you don't have to. You didn't have to take the turret per se. I just wanted you to get the lane to the turret first before you made the move to mid, or shove the lane to turret back and then come home with home guards and an item. All right. But for the record, Mundo can't really do shit to you, really. He can't kill you. I mean, you can probably kill him with Ignite. And now you're behind on farm. And you know, you were hitting a really good CS per minute. And you can keep your farm lead, man, with champs like once you get rolling, you're good to go. Just make sure that you're getting the lane shoved to the turret first, and then you wouldn't miss anything. You're also forgetting that by shoving the lane to the turret, this wave is going to build up for you to catch later. All right. And I don't necessarily, he's saying, I assume he's saying the outer turret when he's talking tier 2. But if he's not, I don't even really necessarily want him to take this turret. I just want him to shove it to the turret because at the end of the day, this whole wave is going to build up and then he's going to come back and catch it and he's not going to miss any of this farm. And he also has the added benefit, remember, the added benefit of taxing his opponents that don't respond to this. But what happens is because he just keeps it here and then groups, this all just cancels out and he gets no value of it and he taxes no one. See? This is good.
Shut down. Triple kill.
So your team's going top. I would look at that and probably do what you're doing right there. So far, this all makes sense to me. What items? You got Triforce. Looks like you're looking for a teleport. I think you wait too long for teleports. Yeah, you're waiting too long.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
So, you can be pushing the lane. Like, you can go into bottom. You don't have to have the home guards fucking sprint in. Okay, so you get the Ahri down. For all intents and purposes, let's analyze this real quick. I'm about to ask you, do you really need to secure this Ahri with your ult? Watch what happens here again. So you have Ahri who just used her ult. You were sitting in base. Waiting for an opportunity to home guards. I understand you're waiting for home guards to make sure that you get the guaranteed hit with your ult. First off, don't get glued to this idea. Instead, get glued more to the idea of getting into your lanes as fast as possible at this stage and shoving them again. Shoving them. You need to have more confidence that you're going to hit those big ults. And you've got to remember that you pushing so fast, you got to keep getting those levels as much as possible. So I don't really like you waiting in the base as much. I would much rather you just come into lanes and just fucking shove them down and then group. You could... I mean, regardless, like, just threatening these lanes, like, no, I think you're just missing so many opportunities because no one can stop you. And you're not giving anybody a reason to try and stop you before teleporting. Your team is going to lose or not lose. You know what I mean? Whether or not you're there. So get these lanes shoved first. Like, I'm serious. Just ignore the great TPs for a moment and just get into a lane. And then, like, wait for your team to fight. Your team isn't just going to suicide into them. You know, if any of these guys, they're on the back foot. They really are. And they have to know that they're on their back foot. Or you got to assume they sort of know that they're on their back foot. So give the other team an opportunity to dive or something. Chasing over and not letting them burn things, I think is you know, it's going to work in that you're going to kill this Ahri here. But I think you could have pushed the lanes first and then just, because she already just used her ult. She just ulted and got that kill, so she's not going to do anything. But you come in from the side with your home guard TP, right? You dodge the taunt, which is good. But here's what I don't like. So you get this guy super fucking low, and then you elect to ult him. But you need to be thinking about this. While you were sitting in base, you should have been watching. Ahri is gone from this fight, in my opinion. She's gone. You don't have to worry about Ahri right now. She's not going to do anything. And you get her, you push her out. She can't help anymore. So you need to be thinking about the rest of the fight now. She has no ult. You've ignited her. She's gone. She won't be participating in the fight. She has no mana. But what you do is you ult her. But you have to remember that your ultimate wins team fights. And it's an AoE fear, a lot of damage, gets you in position. You use it to secure this kill. But she used ult, and she got the kill on LeBlanc. So she was useless, really. And you'd done plenty enough damage already. So I think that you could have gotten her low, moved back, because you know, remember, Ahri is weak without her ult. She's really, really weak. So, and I agree that, you know, taking her out of the fight is all good. I agree that, you know, chasing her out of the fight is good. But I think you needed to, after you pushed her out, wait, because you know that these guys are going to be coming to help. And you can really just fucking line them up once they come to chase in. Because they, you know, they saw you kill the carry, or they saw you chase off the carry, now they want to punish you. Well, with your ult, you can get them when they come to re-engage you here. You're so fed, and you should know that you're so fed, that you can hold the ult and then use it to really help your team out. This is what you want to do, is help your team out. So it was more of a strategic error. You are securing kills, but it was the wrong kill to secure, and you wasted a big ult. Not even really wasted it, but you misused it, is what I should say. Shut the fuck up, Jason. But look at this here, this spot. I mean, dude, because Ahri would have been over here trying to throw charms or whatever. You could have just waited for these squishies to come down and just lined them up. That would have been a huge win for you. It's 6:15. I've been doing this LoL replay review for a while, and I think these are really good spots for you to work on. You're diamond, so I was a little bit more picky than I normally would be. I like your early game cheese or whatever. I like that you're doing the TP bot plays with Ignite. I think it's really good, but I think you need to be a little bit more selfish at the mid game. Like, once you get that lead, switch gears. Like, don't be purely team fight focused at all times. Instead, be like, all right, I just got my lane back balanced a little bit. Like here, oh, and the other thing, remember, don't just knock the turret down. Get the double kill, shove the lane, get the fuck out. Because that would have also given your Kalista a little bit more XP and canceled out some farm. You could give the turret away for a double kill at bot lane. It's okay. But overall, I think what you're doing is great. You know how to play the Ignite. You know how to cheese level 2. You know how to gank. But I think that you made the mistake this game. And I've seen you make the mistake before. I didn't call you out on it in the middle of the game. But I think you've made the mistake before in front of me where you have a tendency to focus so hard on team fighting that you don't switch the gears well enough to keep your lead in lane. Because you can do it, man. Like, you could have very easily kept your XP in your farm lead, like massive leads, because you've rushed those boots of swiftness with home guards. So there's really no reason why you couldn't have balanced it a little bit better. And then the team fight where you elect to home guards in instead of pushing. Like, you could have just pushed, but, you know, you get your home guard teleport in, and you get Ahri to burn her shit, which is great. If she doesn't have her ult, though, and you see her use it, or she's already weak and low on mana, just let her go. Like, let her get out and then look to re-engage the bigger targets. Because remember, in the future, Ahri with no ult is useless. She really doesn't do anything. Alright, Ambi. But this is good, man. This is a really good replay to go over. I think, like I said, I really do like your style. I think that it's the type of style that if you stay good at, you stay working on it, you stay focused on it, you will find that you will win a lot of games by just demoralizing the other team. And you were off to a really great start, but you made a couple of calculations. Remember, don't just push the turret down. Don't stay. You have the quick gank, the quick double kill. As soon as you got that double kill, you should have snapped back and then moved to top lane and let your bot lane reset. And then obviously where I said the Rift Herald, make sure that if you don't have your ult and it's like 30 to 45 seconds away from cooldown, don't group and siege randomly. Go back to dominating your lane and keeping your farm and your levels up, because you're doing a great job. Alright guys, this is Martin Easton, EastBingeGame.tv, going over Ambicidal's Hecarim gameplay. Really good gameplay to go over. A lot of good points. If you guys like this and you want to see more like it, please subscribe, like it, or whatever. And if you want your replays reviewed, it is now Season 6 preseason. Start getting your replays to lawreplayreview@gmail.com. I got you guys. These will be back. I'll be doing these daily. I owe a bunch of them. I love all of you, and I'm out. Peace, crackers.